Come in here if you don't mind. Have a seat right there.
Ralph Allan Lee Shortey, born February 16, 1982, is an American convicted felonious sex offender and former politician and businessman. A member of the Republican Party, he was elected to the Oklahoma Senate in 2010, defeating several challengers in primary elections, re-elected in 2014, and served his term until 2017. Shortey advocated family values during his campaigns and was known for his imposing body structure. During his tenure, he established a Republican consulting firm. Shortey was the state campaign chair for Donald Trump in the 2016 presidential election.
So other than this, you doing all right today?
Yeah, all right.
First off, let me start off with saying
I've got a little bit of a blood pressure issue.
Okay.
So just if I get a little lightheaded.
let me know.
Yeah.
Let us know.
You have a glass of water or anything?
No, I'm fine.
First off, free to go anytime you want. You can stop talking to us anytime you want. No big deal. Just say, hey, I'm done talking, and we're done talking, okay? And we'll let you out. Let us know if you have any lightness, head, anything like that. Any medical attention, we'll get you out of here and get it for you real quick. Alright, so, just so I know, what's your last name again?
Shortey.
Spell it for me.
Shortey.
What's your first name?
Ralph.
Middle?
Allan Lee. Allenlee.
What's your birthday?
February 16th, 82.
Yeah, home address?
2105 Southwest 64th.
Oh, see.
Mm-hmm.
What's your phone number?
405-219-9346.
9346?
Uh-huh.
Alright. Well, like I said, you're on the phone. I guess, had some officers contact you at Super 8 on March the 9th, I think it was, real early in the morning.
Yeah, Wednesday night, I think.
And so, that's what we're here to talk about. Why don't you tell me what transpired there?
Well, we were inside talking, and we heard a bang on the door. I honestly didn't know who it was. Couldn't see through the keyhole or the peephole. And so, the young man I was with, I know has, I've known him for, we've been talking. He's come to the coffee shop that I operate a couple times. I've even had him over to my house, play video games before. Had no idea. Told me when I first met him that he was 20. And so when they first got there, I didn't know what the issue was. Didn't know if it was, somebody trying to get in or what.
Mm-hmm.
So, I asked them, they said it was a wellness check or something like that, and I said, hey, I'm fine. And they were persistent, and then I could finally see a badge on one of them. And then they said that there was a minor inside the room. Obviously, I had no idea when I first met this young man. He told me he was 20 years old. Like I said, we've been talking on the phone for a while. He, in fact, for a few months, he even told me that he went to California to try to get in the music industry or something. So that was when I opened the door. It just didn't make any sense to me why, there'd be
Police there.
Actually, what I asked him was, I said, are you minor? And he said, no, let me go talk to them. And I said, okay. And he went out there, and that's, I don't know what they talked about, but I asked him to check his ID. So again, I'd never even thought to ask him for his ID. There's no reason to. So anyway, I guess after that, one of the men, Sergeant something, I can't remember his last name, he's bald. He lectured me quite a deal. At that point, I was, again, blood pressure. I had to sit down, couldn't even really, I don't even honestly remember what I said to him, a little bit, I think. And I just needed to not have a stroke. So I was caught off guard by that. I think they asked me at some point if they could search the room. I had my computer bag with me, and one of the men searched my computer bag as well as the room. As far as I know, there was nothing found. That was that.
Okay. So they said they, pardon me. They said they smelled weed in the room. Were y'all smoking weed or anything?
I was
like
not
that?
smoking weed.
Was there any in there?
No.
Okay.
And again, I asked them to search. They wanted to search my bag.
So
I don't remember. I think he needed a place to stay for the night. And I think he had a bag with him. I don't know if they searched that.
Okay.
I did not.
So did you stay there all night after the cops left? Or?
No, I left a little while later.
About what time?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But
you didn't stay until in the morning?
I wanted to make sure that I was okay to leave.
Okay.
And that was off.
So you say how long you known the guy?
It's been definitely over a year.
Okay. What do you know him by? What's his name? You know his last name?
No, honestly, I don't remember. He's been over to my coffee shop a couple times. I know that he had been arrested for drug dealing in the past. I know that he had dropped out of high school. He was trying to get a GED. I was trying to help him through that. In fact, when we first met, I was trying to help him study and things like that for the GED. And then when I lost contact with him for 4 or 5 months, when he went to California or wherever, I just assumed that he had, I didn't know that's where he went.
Well, how did y'all meet?
At the coffee shop. I'm pretty sure of that.
What coffee shop are you talking about?
That's I own a coffee shop. It's called Holy Grounds Coffee.
Okay.
And 8613 Southwestern.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's how we met. I honestly don't remember. It's the only place I probably would have met the guy. So anyway, he's been over a couple times there. When he came back, he was, in fact, he told me he wanted to go be an anesthesiologist or something. And, so you can't go without a high school diploma, you can't do anything without a high school diploma. And so, I know that the day after the incident happened, he was going to test for the GED. Strongly encouraged him to do that. The night that he called me, he said, "You just need to get out of his house." I'm assuming I thought he had told me that he lived with some friends. And he had told me in the past that, it was hard for him to get clean because he was always with his friends that were, living with him. And so, when he called and said he needed to get out of there, that he had to test the next day, then the choice was to bring him over to my house, which I don't think my wife would have appreciated that very much. She probably would have been okay with it, but I just figured it'd be easier just to get him a place. And then we decided to talk. So.
Okay. So, how do you do you text him or how do y'all communicate?
It's usually phone calls.
Phone calls?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's interesting because on his tablet he has a conversation that he says he had with you using an app called Kick. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, there's a pretty lengthy conversation on his tablet that he says is with the guy that is you, that he that is online, or the Kick ID is Jamie Tilley, and you told officers that night that that's what your online.
He calls me Jamie,
and
I'm not sure why.
Okay. And anyways, so we've got a conversation between him and this Jamie Tilley about, he says, "I need money for spring break." Jamie Tilley says, "I don't really have any legitimate things I need help with right now. Would you be interested in sexual stuff?" He says, yes. This goes on about how can I come get you, blah, blah, blah. We go on. He says, he starts calling this guy Daddy. He says, hurry up, Daddy. I'm super horny.
On March 16, 2017, Shortey was charged by the Cleveland County District Attorney with 3 felony counts: soliciting of a minor for prostitution, prostitution within 1,000 feet, 300 meters, of a church, and transporting someone for prostitution after he was caught with a 17-year-old boy in a motel room in Moore, Oklahoma. Police reported a strong odor of raw marijuana emanating from the room. According to an affidavit, the duo told police they had brought marijuana with them, which Shortey said they were smoking when police arrived. Video from their arrest, released by Moore police, shows Shortey in the motel room wearing a t-shirt that reads, "Now go make me a sandwich." Above a cartoon drawing of a sandwich, it cites Ephesians 5:22, a Bible verse that calls on women to obey their husbands. Police said that they discovered sexually explicit text messages between the duo in which Shortey called the teen baby boy and offered him cash in exchange for sexual acts. Shortey turned himself in the same day and was released on $100,000 bond. The FBI and U.S. Secret Service in Oklahoma City both confirmed that they had joined the investigation into Shortey, and the FBI conducted a search of his home. The age of consent in Oklahoma is 16, but under state law, engaging in prostitution with anyone under 18 is illegal.
Hey, keep me updated because I want you bad, Daddy. The guy named Jamie Tilley says I'm gonna fuck you like a good little boy if you keep calling me Daddy. This goes on and on and on and on. Well, then it gets to the end. It says, "Okay, I'll be down the street, a couple houses, in about 10 minutes or so." He says, "Okay, let me know so I have an idea." Then that person says, I-35 about to exit at 4th Street. And then it says, "I'm here." Well, we've got a witness, pardon me, we've got a witness that sees him get in a white Grand Cherokee, and they follow that white Grand Cherokee to the hotel, first to 4th and Eastern at the gas station, and then to the Circle K. Yeah,
This is the gas station.
Yeah, at the gas station, and then to the Super 8 where the guy in the white Jeep Cherokee and him go in, check into a room, and then go back out and go into room 120. All right, and they sit there until the police show up, where she then calls his dad, and he intern calls the police, and the police show up there to 120, knock on the door, and then you come out. So again, I ask, you told officers that you had online identity, Jamie. This guy, Hagen, saying that he was talking to you. We got a witness picking him up at the same time that this message was sent saying, "I'm here." So I kind of got to say that Jamie Tilley's you.
It's not me.
It's not you. Okay.
We communicated by phone. There was no sexual intention that night.
Okay. You anything else? So how did you meet?
I want to say it was at our coffee shop.
Okay. So, like, he just walks in, you guys strike up a conversation, become friends?
Yeah, it's happened many times.
Invite over to your house. Has your wife met him?
I think so.
Okay. Now, you said he's come to your house several times to play video games.
I think just once.
Come to your house once to play video games, and then you guys met at the coffee shop a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if I said that he told you guys met through a Craigslist ad the very first time, when he posted in Casual Encounters?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Can I ask, is he legitimately underage?
Yeah.
And he was the first time that you met him, and I said,
16.
I asked him, I said, "Hey, does he know how old you were?" And he said, "Yeah, he knows," because we had a discussion about it, and at first he was uncomfortable with it, but then he finally got over it.
In this conversation, it says, she needs me to go to the store for her. My 3-year-old is sick. That's one of the things I've been dealing with tonight. We're not going to have enough time. Can we get together tomorrow, after 1? I'll get a hotel room or something if that would make it easier. Goes on talking about the coffee shop, my coffee shop. I'll be alone in about 10 minutes at my coffee shop. He says, can I help you with anything for spring break? Again, you said just customers, but I'll leave in here close to 8. Okay. I'll be your slave. That sounds nice. I mean, we go on and on and on. And
how old is your youngest child?
5 months.
Okay. So he's telling me that when he first met you through Craigslist, that he had posted an ad in Casual Encounters, and that he had a lot of responses for it, but that you said that you wanted him to mess around with your wife while you watched. He said that he showed up to do that, or you guys got together and started talking about that. He found out your wife was pregnant, and then said that it never happened because she was pregnant. So here's the deal, Ralph. You and I both know what the truth is, and the truth is not what you're telling us. We're not saying you're a bad guy. We're not saying you set out thinking that this is some 15-year-old kid you're going to go bang. We're not saying that. We're saying, hell, maybe you didn't know how old he was. I don't know. I think you probably did based on what he's telling me, but things are what they are. Tell us the truth. Get it out there. Let's get this over with, get this behind us so we can all move on.
I'm telling you that.
No, you're not. You're telling us part of what happened, but you're not telling us what's going on.
you told the officers there that you had an online identity of Jamie.
He's talking about, you talk about in these texts when this Kick account, about your kids and your kid being sick and your coffee shop and that you got customers left and that you close at 8. I mean, it's clearly you. It's clearly
And
you.
we've got a witness that put you there. When you say,
I absolutely picked him up.
when you say I'm here, the witness is waiting down the street because she thought it was jacked up. She thought it was jacked up that he wouldn't tell her where he was going or anything like that. So she sits down the street and waits. And then she sees him going to the Super 8 hotel with you, and then she gets scared and wondering what the heck's going on, so she calls the police, or calls his dad, and who in turn calls us. So here's the deal. We're trying to give you an opportunity, all right, to help yourself out here, all right? We have we have his device, these are just photos of it. We actually have downloaded the entire device now. So we have everything that y'all said that night, everything. The thing about it is that tablet, once you sent the message saying I'm here, that tablet was never on the internet again. So the kid conversation couldn't delete. So we have the entire conversation. But
You could.
yeah, you can look at it. We have the entire conversation because it never hit the network again. This is a bad deal. This is prostitution with a minor, prostitution within 1,000 foot of a church, which are both felonies, and then transporting for the purpose of prostitution, which is a misdemeanor.
I'm telling you, that's not me.
It clearly is you. Ralph, that's a lie. You're lying to us right now. That's clearly you. No one else. With daughter sick, coffee shop, I'm here and you're there. That's clearly you.
I don't know who else he could have been talking to.
Nobody. I agree with you. Nobody.
Yeah, I
has a
agree.
coffee shop and has a kid, sick kid, and all this stuff.
And
It's
showed up.
you. And here's the deal. He says it's you that he's talking to.
You show up with condoms, he shows up with lotion. I mean,
that's not true at all.
Yeah, there was condoms in your bag. The cop saw them.
That's just absolutely not true. I did not show up there for any sexual thing.
Well, then there's also weed that was in a green plastic container, marijuana that was in a green plastic container with labels from Colorado that was in the room.
Did you ever touch that bottle?
No.
So there's no way your fingerprints will be on it?
No.
Okay, because we have the bottle.
I don't know what to tell
He
you.
says, matter of fact, he says when the police knocked on the door that y'all were both smoking marijuana.
He said that he brought a gram when you brought a gram, and you guys rolled a huge blunt, and that you guys were planning on messing around, it just hadn't got there yet. And that he was going to do you a favor by whatever it was you guys were going to do, and that you were going to do him a favor by kicking him some money for spring break. Ralph, like I said, we don't think you're a bad guy. We think you made a bad decision. There's a big difference.
I just don't know why he would do that. I honestly don't know.
Because it's true.
It's not true.
I mean, he's 17.
And
He's
he lied about
17.
that too.
Okay, well, for all practical purposes, let's say he did lie about that, all right? Jamie Tilley is you, and I can prove it. So, at minimum, you met with a guy at a hotel to pay him for sex. At a minimum.
Within
At a
1,000 feet
minimum.
of the church.
Yeah, within 1,000 feet of the church, which is a felony in itself. So, at minimum, that's what it is. All right? At minimum. So, you know, I'm giving you an opportunity here, and he told me I shouldn't, but I am. I'm giving you an opportunity to do it, to take responsibility for it and make it a little bit easier on yourself. If you don't want to take it, that's fine. Okay? I can tell you what I'm going to do tomorrow. All right? First thing tomorrow morning, I'm taking this case to the Clinton County District Attorney's Office. Okay? I'm going to suggest that they file charges for solicitation of a minor, possession or solicitation, prostitution within 1,000 feet of a church, and transporting for the purposes of prostitution. Okay, and then they're going to decide whether or not they're going to file charges or not. Obviously, I've given you the opportunity. I'm giving you an opportunity to help yourself out, to tell us what happened. Everything that I'm telling you, I can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt. So, I know that's why we're sitting here so strongly telling you you're lying, because we can prove the Jamie Tilley ID. We can prove that identity is you. I mean, amazing things that we can do with electronics and stuff like that. That we can recover and stuff like that with warrants and everything. So I'm telling you right now, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, that's you.
After the reports emerged, but before charges were filed, the Oklahoma Senate unanimously voted to strip Shortey of privileges, including his parking space, office, and positions on committees, although he retained his seat, ability to vote, and salary. A number of Republican and Democratic Oklahoma officials called upon Shortey to step down, including Governor Mary Fallin. Shortey resigned from office on March 22, 2017, 6 days after being charged.
And if you want to move forward from this keep saying that's not you, then that's fine. But I don't want to be here not giving you an opportunity to set it straight and tell the truth.
It doesn't sound like anything I say is going to help.
Okay. I mean, the truth helps.
And just so you know, that you guys also exchanged dick pics at one point. And when hopefully you didn't take a picture of your dick with your phone, because that's going to tag it whenever you send it to somebody.
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I don't understand why he would do this. I really don't. Is it really his name?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he knows you because, like you're saying, coffee shop, all that. Said you guys smoked weed on the second floor of the coffee shop in the past.
I just don't understand why he would do that.
He has nothing to gain from this.
Except screwing me.
How does that help him?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
he has nothing to gain.
Why would that screw
He's
him?
on probation or whatever.
He has no idea who you are. He thinks your name is Jamie. He has no idea what your real name is. None. He referred to you as Jamie the whole time I'm talking to him.
I don't understand this.
So it's not like he's going to get anything from any of this. It's not like he gains anything from this. Have you got your phone with you right now?
No.
Where is it at?
Honestly, I lost it.
Lost your phone. Because you and I both know what will be on that phone.
There's nothing on that phone. You can tag it or whatever. I mean,
So other than kicks, how did you communicate with him? Did you email him?
I don't think I've ever had his email address.
Okay.
But mostly it was in person, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Anytime that we got together, it was, like I said, he came to the house once. We've only, met in person maybe 2 or 3 times.
Prior to the evening that we're talking about, how much sexual stuff had you guys done together?
Nothing.
So that was going to be the first time?
We weren't doing anything.
I know, not when we got there you weren't, but that was the plan for that evening.
No.
Clearly it was.
Sir, I'm telling you it wasn't.
I don't have any legitimate work for you, and you're just doing sexual stuff.
Would you be interested in any sexual stuff? He says yes. Then it gets worse on down through here, as far as talking about it. It says, at one point, I don't know, I may have said this earlier, I'm gonna fuck you like a good little boy if you keep calling me daddy. He goes, yes, daddy, please.
Did you ever have sex with him?
No, never.
Did you ever give him a hand job?
No.
Did he ever give you a hand job?
I've never even seen him naked or even asked.
So, this was going to be the first time that any of that had ever happened.
No, sir.
Well, you can't help with this stuff. You can definitely help with my cock, though. That's another statement. I'm just going through here reading what you wrote, because I can prove that you wrote it. That's you. So I'm just letting you know, so you know what's coming down the pipe.
So how did you? If that's not you, how did you contact him last night or that night?
I think he called me.
He doesn't have a phone.
Sir, he called me. That's all I can say. I don't know.
How did he know that you were outside?
He called me, and I told him I was on my way. I told him I'd be there at a certain amount of time, and I got there.
Did you use this phone that you've lost?
That was the only phone I had.
Okay.
On September 5th, 2017, a federal grand jury indicted Shortey on 4 federal sex trafficking and child pornography charges, involving both the March incident and videos that Shortey was accused of distributing from his smartphone in 2012 and 2013. Shortey pleaded not guilty to these charges. After the federal charges were announced, the Cleveland County District Attorney dropped the state charges.
What was that number?
265. I can't remember the last 4.
Of the phone that you lost?
Oh no, my phone was the number I gave you earlier. That's my cell phone.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one that's lost?
Well, I use Hangouts for Google numbers. I've always used them for all of my businesses, and so it would have been 265. I can't remember the last 4.
Explain that to me. What does that mean? Like when you call him or he calls you on this 265 number,
Yeah.
and that goes to your cell phone via Google Hangouts.
Yeah, it's a forwarded number.
A Google Voice number.
No, it goes directly to my number.
Okay. And so you called him back and said, I'm here?
Right.
Okay. And what number would you call?
Well, I think I just told him I'd be there in 20 minutes or whatever.
And then he saw you when you got down the street? Okay.
Well, as far as I know, you keep saying down the street, I went to the house that he told me to go to.
What house is that? You remember?
90, maybe 912, 916, something like that.
Okay.
Lucidin or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where he told me to meet him. And, you know, I'm trying to think of, I called him when I got there. I don't think I did. No, I didn't because I saw him on the porch.
Okay. And you think that what you've told us today is going to make sense to a jury of your peers?
All I can say is the truth, sir.
And then you're not. I agree. All you can say to help yourself out is the truth, but you're not doing that.
So, this 219 number, you say you lost the handset?
After I called you, I apparently have left it on top of my car or something. I've tried to find it because I needed to call someone else.
So you just recently lost it?
Yeah, I talked to you when I was about to leave my house. And I went back and looked on the ground.
Anything else?
Nope. That is it. We gave it a shot.
Yep. Do you have any questions?
The conversation that you have there, how lengthy is it? How long does it go? Is it just one night? Is it more than a week? Is it a month?
This one that we have right here is just that night. But we have others.
Other what?
Conversations.
In what form? The same messenger?
Huh?
The same messenger?
I don't know, I'm gonna have to get with, we'll have it at, I think he said four this afternoon.
So
we took his device, what we did is we took his device, there was 2 devices, we took them, we forensically, we have a guy who forensically examines them. Then what they do is they take everything off of it. Now if it leads us to another device, if we get a search warrant or a court order or to another account, say, for instance, in this particular thing, this Jamie Tilley, all right, we can get the IP address that's used, all the IP addresses that's used with that account, all right, and we can track that IP address back to a handset. Like, so, say, for instance, the IP address that he uses, we'll track back to a network that he uses. If it's a wireless network, then it'll be that one and stuff like that. So we have several devices that we're looking at now.
Okay. Not sure what all that means, but...
Well, his devices. We're getting everything off of the 2 devices that we have of his. We're taking all that stuff off, all right? And our guys going through them one by one and sending us different IP addresses to look at.
What it comes down to is the reason we have those conversations is that when we turned the Kendall on, those were the ones on there, so we took pictures of those, and then we gave them to the forensics guy. And what he'll do is he'll go get more in depth, but that way he and I don't screw it up by trying to fiddle with the damn thing.
So we have more conversations. I just don't know what platform they're on, because all we did is what was up on the tab. We took pictures of what was up on the tablet then. So we have more conversations. I just don't know what platform they're on. I'll know tonight because he'll be done with both tablets today. So.
A federal jury trial had been scheduled for December 2017. On November 19th, 2017, Shortey reached an agreement to plead guilty on November 30th to one count of child sex trafficking. The prosecutor agreed to have the child pornography counts removed. Shortey was jailed immediately after pleading guilty on November 30th and faced a sentence of at least 10 years in prison.
And so you don't know how long this conversation's been going on or anything right now?
Correct.
Yeah.
So basically, all that can happen is, at this point is that we get more evidence about what's going on. Because there's nowhere to go from here.
Well, I'm just
But more to add to it.
I can find. I know you guys don't believe me, and I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise unless I have something to show you, and I just don't know.
I find it hard to believe that you magically lost your phone on the way over here as well.
It's not the first time, sir.
Well, and just look at it. Okay, take all this crap in this conversation that we've had out of it. All right. So just put yourself in my shoes. Okay. So you got a guy who gets caught in a room with a minor, or in a hotel room with a minor, and he comes in and talks to us, knowing that he's had a conversation with this minor on an electronic device. All right. Probably his phone, because of the way he was at the store, he was at the guy's store, he was in his car, so more than likely it was on his phone. So you're coming in blind, not knowing
Also extremely nervous.
Well, I got you. I know, but put yourself in my shoes. You're coming in this blind, only knowing that we're going to want to talk to you about, the hotel room, and all of a sudden you come in and you don't have a phone. And I know you live with your phone. You have to. So that's just strange to us,
Is your phone on you right now?
No, it's not.
Is it in your car?
No.
Can I look in your car?
Sure.
Okay.
When did you drive up here today?
Sorry?
When did you drive up here today?
When?
What vehicle did you drive up here?
My car.
What is your
The Jeep.
Oh, the white Jeep Cherokee? What year is it?
I don't know, 99, 01, something like that.
Have you talked to him since that night?
No. I honestly would have loved to have talked to his parents. I had no idea that he was still with his parents. I wouldn't have been with a minor.
Well, you knew that he was kicked out of high school.
Yeah, I knew that. Well, he told me he dropped out of high school.
Okay, you knew that he dropped out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that he was trying to get his GED.
Right.
How old did you think he was?
20.
Well,
When we met, he told me he was 20.
Okay.
And he's told me. Guys, this is why this is just so, I don't understand why he would do this. Because that's all we've ever talked about. Is just life and just trying to get him better, I guess. I had no idea he lived with his parents. Is he still in high school? So he is out of high school. Like, did he graduate?
that it?
Wish I could tell. I'm still trying to think. I hope you don't mind.
No, it's fine. Take all the time. Unfortunately, in these type of deals, you get one shot at talking to us. So make sure you've got all the questions answered that you can think of. How long you own the coffee shop?
A couple years now, I think.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
So this Kick Messenger, have you ever used it?
No. I've heard of it. Obviously, I check my daughter's phone to see if it's on there.
How's your daughter?
13.
What kind of phone was it that you lost?
Samsung. I may find it. I'm going back where I drove. I wish I could say it's the first time it's happened, but it's not.
In early December 2017, police released their video of Shortey's arrest at a motel where he was found with a 17-year-old male prostitute. In June 2018, prosecutors revealed in a sentencing memorandum that Shortey had sex twice with the victim in the year before they were found together at the hotel. Prosecutors also informed the judge that they would seek full restitution from Shortey for the victim's losses, including the cost of any care. Shortey's lawyer said it would not yet be appropriate to comment.
So why did you tell the officers there that you had an online identity by Jamie?
I didn't say that. I said that he's called me Jamie.
Well, I don't mean to you did, because we got body cameras and I actually saw it. So I mean, they were talking to him, they were talking to you, and you said you had that you went online or had an online identity of Jamie. That's it. You didn't say Tilly, the last one, but you said Jamie.
I don't remember that, sir.
Okay.
I remember him asking me what my name was. You asked me about email conversations earlier.
Mm-hmm.
find something for you guys. Is there anything there that shows what I'm saying on email? Because I honestly don't remember if I've ever emailed him.
Yeah, there's shit ton of emails on that thing, and I'm not sure. That's what I was asking, if you remember anything.
I gave the officer my email address the other night. I guess I'll search and see if there's any. I'm just trying to think of anything. Alright, you had mentioned something about spring break. Can you explain that to me?
You said he needed money for spring break.
Like in what sense? Was he going somewhere?
I don't know, it didn't say.
Okay, so he's... No, spring break was last week, right?
This week. In some places it's next week.
I think more is this week, though.
Yeah, I think so.
But it probably wouldn't matter to him if he's not in high school, I guess.
I don't know if he still has friends that were in high school.
Be right back.
There's really not any way around it. How many times has he been on the second floor of the coffee shop?
He never has been.
So he wouldn't be able to describe what it looks like?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like private or anything. I mean, anybody can go up there. In fact, it's an open office. So you asked me earlier if there had been any sexual contact in the past. Does he allege that?
He said you guys kissed.
When?
Before May of last year.
I mean, that's nothing, but still, that's never happened either.
Just like Jamie Tilley's not you. Just like it's somebody else with kids and daughters in the coffee shop. Somebody else who's there. Man, you made a bad decision. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you made a bad decision. It's not the end of the world.
And if I can't prove otherwise, that it is the end of the world. And I can't think of any other proof that I can show you.
There's nothing, because there's no, I mean,
There absolutely would be if
what we
if
have,
I had,
what we have is the truth.
if I had phone calls or if I had.
But you don't, because they don't exist. What we have is the truth. You know it. You know
I
that's
never
why
would have thought to have to record a phone call or anything with a guy. I mean,
it was recorded. That's what we've got pictures of.
I'm
The
talking
conversation was recorded. I mean, that is so clearly you. You and I both know that's you. Anyone we show that to is going to know that's you.
Well, that's the problem.
It's not a problem. It's the truth. What I'm saying is the problem is that for some reason you think that if you stick your head in the sand and ignore it, it's going to go away. It's not. Your best bet is to tell us the truth, tell us what happened, and then move on from this. Make this a bump in the road, not the road. I mean, it's that simple, really. This is not a defining moment. This is just a moment. No, this is you've had other things happen in your life that were awful at the time, and then now that you look back on them, they're still awful, but they didn't change who you were. It's a bump. That's all it is. It doesn't change the fact that you're a good person, or that you care about your family. None of that changes. But the reason you're having trouble thinking of something to say is because you know there's nothing you can say.
I'm having trouble thinking of something to say. I'm trying to...
Well, you're trying to decide whether or not you should tell us what happened.
No, I've told you everything.
Okay.
So we done.
I can't think of anything else.
And no phone on you, no phone in your car?
No.
Do you mind if I pat you down real quick?
No, I said, hell, I should have said that before you sat down. We'll walk down in the car with you.
Jailed since his guilty plea, Shortey was sentenced in Oklahoma City federal court on September 17, 2018, to a total of 15 years in prison and 10 years of supervised release. In sentencing testimony, Shortey apologized to his family, fellow Christians, and his constituents. His attorney, who said the sentence was fair, requested that Shortey serve it at a facility in Texas with a sex offender rehab program. The Bureau of Prisons placed Shortey at the Federal Correctional Institution, Seagoville, in Seagoville, Texas. In February 2019, U.S. District Judge Day Guisti imposed a restitution fine on Shortey of $125,850, about half of the maximum amount.